Let me take a moment to address a few things about Snow White 2025, specifically its prequel, which is set to feature Lord Farquaad. I have no doubt that this film is not going to perform as Disney expects, and I'll explain why. First of all, the hairstyle that Rachel Zegler wears in this film when compared to the Lord Farquaad character from Shrek is simply uncanny. It's hard to look at her and not think of Farquaad. Who decided on this look, by the way? Was it the director, Mark Webb, or was it Greta Gerwig, the writer? Maybe Rachel Zegler herself pitched the idea. Who knows? Now, Rachel Zegler has been vocal about the criticism surrounding Snow White. A few months before the film's release, she went on multiple rants, mostly about the backlash she was receiving. For those of you who might not be up to speed on all the drama surrounding Snow White 2025, this project is clearly driven by an agenda, one pushed by Bob Iger, the Disney executives, and especially by Zegler and Gerwig. Speaking of Gerwig, she's a filmmaker who has also become an outspoken activist. It seems that both she and Zegler are using the film as a platform for their own ideologies. The recent Snow White special look, essentially a third trailer, is receiving massive criticism, and rightfully so. Many viewers have pointed out that Zegler's performance seems very disjointed, almost out of place. The 7 test screenings for the film have failed miserably, and the majority of feedback centers on Zegler's portrayal of the character. In some test screenings, she was even described as showing anger and frustration in a way that didn't seem to align with the character or the story. If you watch the special look at the 30 to 34 second mark, you'll see her shift between emotions from happiness to anger and back again almost instantaneously. It's a jarring transition and leaves viewers questioning what's going on with the character. Now, let's talk about Hollywood and the so-called woke media. There's been a financial backlash against Hollywood recently, largely due to the way the public has been reacting to these woke agendas being pushed in films. One of the key figures involved in this controversy is Rachel Zegler herself. After the Snow White special look failed to land well, Zegler went off on yet another rant in response to critics. Here's a breakdown of her statements. In her rant, she said, "Many people criticize my work because they don't understand women and how crucial they are in stories like Snow White." She continued by defending the film's approach to portraying Snow White as a complex character. Both Greta and Mark agreed that they needed a top-tier singer like myself who understands the character well. We had to show how Snow White experiences a range of emotions like anger, pride, and hope, and those emotions needed to be reflected in the musical sequences, she explained. According to Zegler, it's important to show how these emotions tie into the empowerment of women. For families to not understand that, I think, just shows how disjointed our country is right now. Men have no place in criticizing my work on Snow White. No one understands what it's like to wear a costume for 16 hours a day and pour yourself into a role like this, she added. She also mentioned the film's new focus on Snow White saving society, a narrative she believes will resonate with modern real-world issues. That's what the story is about now, Zegler said. Saving society, dealing with real-world issues and conflicts. And for anyone to say this is an agenda, I think it's crazy. The toxic men and families who don't understand the character really have no place to criticize the film before it even comes out. I'm sure the critics who are attacking me now will still line up to watch the film, whether it's to see if it's good or bad. They will watch it in secret. Mark my words, I'm almost certain of that. She then continued with, "This is my biggest role yet, and I had no intention of failing with it." Now, let me stop here. This is exactly why Rachel Zegler is quickly becoming one of the most insufferable actresses of 2024 and likely 2025 too. It's statements like these about how people will watch her in secret despite criticizing her, or how families don't understand Snow White that make her seem out of touch and arrogant. But here's the problem. This isn't really about Snow White the character anymore. This is about Disney pushing its broader ideological agenda through a story that's supposed to be a fairy tale. Disney is clearly altering the source material, which Zegler acknowledges, saying that the 2025 iteration of Snow White is long overdue because the original 1937 Brothers Grimm tale needed a modern twist. Zegler specifically credits Greta Gerwig for pushing this new direction and hinted at Gerwig's future plans with the Chronicles of Narnia. Zegler has high hopes for Gerwig's future projects, believing they will finally silence all the critics and prove them wrong once the film is successful. Here's the issue with all of this. Disney, deep down, probably knows that Snow White 2025 is going to bomb at the box office. The test screenings have shown poor results. The fan reception has been overwhelmingly negative. Even casual moviegoers are rejecting the film, and it's clear from social media comments, likes, dislikes, and ratios that there's little interest. This film is shaping up to be another Star Wars: The Acolyte, a failure that reflects a broader pushback against the direction Hollywood is going in. The backlash is also a result of Zegler's involvement in politics and her tendency to backtrack on statements that come off as disingenuous. Sure, Disney may have pressured her to say certain things, but here she is once again making ludicrous and desperate attempts to defend the film. The bottom line is that this movie is being created under a cloud of controversy, and all the social media manipulations and backpedaling won't change the fact that most people simply aren't interested in seeing it. So I'd like to hear your thoughts on this. What did you think of Zegler's performance in the special look? Do you think her rant was justified, or is she just digging herself into a deeper hole? Drop your comments below, and if you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like it and support the channel. I'll catch you all later.